Today on The Social. Despite a failed exam, Kim Kardashian is keeping up with her legal studies. But do you think she'll be taken seriously in the courtroom? And for the first time in decades, some Canadian church leaders are seeing more young people at places of worship. What could be behind the recent surge in religious attendance among Gen Z? Then, she gave survivors of sexual abuse their voice back in one of the most shocking scandals in sports history. Judge Rosemarie Aquilina shares advice for trusting your instincts. Plus, struggle meals, budget-friendly dishes made with simple ingredients, and other tips for a lean grocery bill from zero-waste chef Christine Tizard. It all starts now on The Social.
Have a seat. Do you know that we have Canadians from 7 provinces today in the audience? That's pretty fantastic. And we certainly hope wherever you are watching at home that you are cozy and warm. Hey, let's get down to the show. What do you think about that?
Yeah.
We have journalist and speaker Farah Nasser joining us on the show today. And we are thrilled to welcome Judge, author, and motivational speaker Rosemarie Aquilina to the show. Rosemarie, I think we have like a very good topic to start off with for you here today, because reality star, entrepreneur, and aspiring lawyer Kim Kardashian, heard of her? She revealed in an Instagram story that although she failed the California bar exam, she has no plans to stop trying. Quote, no shortcuts, no giving up, just more studying and even more determination, she wrote. So do you think that she'll be taken seriously in this field as a lawyer? What do you guys think?
It's interesting. Like, what an interesting reaction. First of all, before we get into whether or not I think personally she'll be taken seriously, I admire her doing this. She's clearly passionate about this, and it's certainly not something that she has to do. It's something that she obviously wants to do, probably falling in line with what her father did. She already has been doing all this really interesting work behind the scenes. She quietly helped fund this thing called the 90 Days of Freedom campaign, where she ended up helping to free 17 non-violent drug offenders. I mean, she's had people, like, she's done some impressive work, and she really hasn't done it to get a huge amount of spotlight. And I think she should keep doing work like that. But when I try to picture her, like, she wants to do trial law. She wants to be like her dad. And for me, it's not so much about what she will be saying, because I think she can get there. Maybe a little bit is how she will be saying it, like that kind of vocal fry. Like, Rosemarie, you are a judge.
Yes.
I need to know.
What did you do?
How would you feel if she was in the courtroom with you?
I have taught law for about 45 years, and I teach trial skills. And in trial skills, it's a bit of acting. And as long as she is prepared and takes herself and her clients seriously, she will make an excellent lawyer. And I want to put out there, Kim, I'm happy to help you pass the damn bar. Okay? There's a way to study for it. It is hard, but it's not just about book learning. There's a lot of things you have to know about the courtroom and about past exams and all of that. And I'm thinking that she's too keyed up.
Okay.
And so she needs to calm down a little bit.
But I have a question. Like, do you think, maybe not for you in the court of law as the judge, but could there be certain judges who already are going to have assumptions about the case she's representing because they have their own internal biases about her?
And what does that do for the client,
Yeah.
too, right?
Absolutely. However, it will be up to her to focus on the law. And when a judge acts poorly, report them, ask for a different judge. There's things that you can do to protect your client.
Okay.
Rosemarie, have you seen the movie Legally Blonde?
Many times.
Well, isn't this just like Legally Kardashian? She's like Elle Woods?
Exactly. But she'll be a different kind of Elle Woods, but she'll own her space and do a good job when she gets there.
You know what? I am with you. I think that here she is. She's failing publicly. She's learning publicly. She's going through all this. She doesn't have to do it. And we're in a world where we're trying to be authentic, or we're telling everybody to be authentic. And here she is. She's like, don't put me in this box. I want to try something else. And I think we should give her some grace and some room for it. People are going to make fun of her.
Are we changing opinions? Because the audience was not on board. I don't know.
I know it's
no, you don't agree with
visual.
me.
You just think that it wouldn't work, but it could work.
It could work.
When I took the bar, when I went to law school, I was one of very few women, and a lot of negative things were said to me by men. And I tell you, my law degree has added a level of credibility, a way to address issues, and I think that will happen to Kim as well once she gets there, and I think we should all support that.
Look at that. Hey, look at that.
Something about that.
Nice.
Okay, well, sticking with celebrities, CNN looked into how shows like Hot Ones transformed the celebrity interview by putting stars in the hot seat with rapid-fire questions and a plate of spicy food. We enjoy this. And they say it reflects a growing appetite for more flavorful content instead of conventional sit-down interviews. So when it comes to a celebrity interview, do you appreciate this kind of gimmicky hook? Or do you, or do you like it more of a standard sit-down interview style? Jess.
Oh man, I'm really glad you guys clapped for the gimmick because Rosemarie, we've just met, but I've been known to use a gimmick or two in my day. For example, one out of many, got a chance to sit down with Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman, and I made some fake tattoos on my legs just so I could pull down my pants. A lot of people called this brave. Brave because it probably means I'll never be able to run for prime minister with that in it. But in all seriously, I do appreciate a gimmick. I like that both exist. I like that I can have my pick. I can have a serious, like usually print. I like reading long-form interviews, but I like having a little levity every now and then. Hopefully you do too. Go on.
So I think it's okay, but why not take something that happened in their life and that's relatable to all of us and use that instead of a gimmick? Do you really need a gimmick when you have a star? I don't think so.
Some of them are very boring, though. Some of them are very boring.
Though,
it's
honestly,
true.
Well, tell them that.
Yeah.
That actually would make for an amazing interview.
Yes.
It would.
I've done, in my journalism career, I've done more than 10,000 interviews, and I can tell you, you do not need hot sauce to get to the truth. You do not need, people holding puppies to get to a real deep conversation. You need preparation, you need to know about the subject, you need to push past PR talking points. I don't know, maybe I'm a purist when it comes to this, but I think that to me is performative.
When
right?
someone has a gimmick,
without a
I'm
doubt.
saying, let's get to the issue. I don't care about the gimmick. Let me know about you.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
hear you, and
Okay.
I do enjoy getting that. I mean, we remember those classic interviews with Barbara Walters, like those ones where you get these like real big revelations, and yet now everybody's just competing for eyeballs, right? And so gimmick sometimes allows not only the interviewer to get a little bit more access, and those interviews, Hot Ones, actually do go very in depth. But then there's also just the thing of like when you only have, as many of us have experienced, a short amount of time. You got to try to get some kind of a connection quickly. That's the stress that we're under. I loved what actually Deepa from Virgin Radio, who's been on our show before, she recently during the Toronto International Film Festival, she brought in this little kid, and he disarmed, all of a sudden you have Angelina Jolie who might walk right by everybody otherwise. You see this little kid, and suddenly they're getting these amazing moments with people like Sydney Sweeney. I think you need to be clever. Now, I will say the flip side of that, though, that bugs me sometimes, and I'm going to give you some inside baseball kind of stuff.
love.
Which is just on our show, we have a lot of celebrities that come on this show, and a lot of times we come up, our producers have really great ideas, and then suddenly you're told by the publicist, no, They're not going to do that. Before they've even brought it by the celebrity. So it's this delicate dance of trying to get access and trying to get interest at the same time, right?
But even you saw Woody Harrelson there, like he's sweating, right? He's eating a ghost pepper. How do you have, it's such a distraction.
He's
How do you
vulnerable. He's vulnerable.
I mean, I don't even think he's thinking about the question. He's just like, give me some water, you know? So I don't know.
But if he's sweating, say, what's making you sweat?
Rosemarie, I want you on the next TIFF red carpet.
Okay.
That sounds like a really good
great.
idea. Hey, in the meantime, it's time for a quick break. And then, for the first time in decades, church leaders say attendance is up. And it's all thanks to Gen Z. We take a closer look at what this means when we get back.
Tomorrow on The Social, comedy legend Colin Mockery joins the panel with his take on the stories of the day. This week on The Social, supermodel Coco Rocha struts into our studio with details tailored for fashion lovers ahead of the Project Runway Canada premiere.
Welcome back, everyone. Remember, you can find us on social media and have your say on all of these topics. So do that.
Do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe this one interests you. CTV News is reporting that for the first time in decades, church attendance is growing, and it's because of Gen Z faithfuls. Yeah. All right, Rosemarie, let's start with you. Are you surprised? You have 5 kids.
Yes.
Are you surprised that Gen Z, first of all, you do not look like you have 5 kids, just so you know.
Thank you.
But Gen Z, do you find that surprising going to church?
Absolutely not. I think that we're in a day and age where everybody's texting. You walk in any coffee shop or school, they're texting instead of communicating. And I think they're looking for more connection, more support that's real, like we're talking now. They just don't have it.
Yeah. And is it also maybe the piece of like hope? Because it's been like they're a generation that don't have a lot of like hopeful information. So I wonder if that's what religion provides. It's interesting. I was raised Catholic and I had a lot of issues. So I don't know, I can't speak for you, but for me, once I reached a certain age, there were a lot of pieces of that religion and people in that religion that I found problematic. And so my rebellion as a teenager was saying, I'm no longer going to keep going to church. And I wonder if some teens today, it's a rebellion to actually go to church.
Yeah.
Like if it's like my parents raised me with nothing, so I'm going.
I was very surprised to hear this, and here's why. Gen Z is known as this very cynical generation, right? They were born in 9/11. They saw their families struggle through the financial crisis, right? And then we had COVID and climate change and all these things. And they're the generation that kept asking why after they were toddlers, right? They want receipts, they want information. And church is about blind faith, right?
But so there's a disconnect there.
There's such a dichotomy there in my mind.
But it's more. I grew up, my dad worked, my mom didn't. Now both parents have to work. The church is the connection. They have sort of a parent that can give advice, they can sit in a group, they can go together, they can talk one-on-one with the priest. They have support that they may not have at home, may never have had at home. There's so many broken homes.
Is this good news?
It's good news.
It's good news, yeah.
I'm a bit, because I've had people who were very much hurt by some of the shame and secrecy attached to, in particular, you know, again, I'm not saying this cross-board, this was my experience. It worries me a little bit what even you just said about the idea of a parent figure, because with great power comes great responsibility, and not all people in power take that responsibility seriously.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, but the only thing I'll say is that as a mom of a 12-year-old, I have struggled a little bit because I've pivoted and faith and spirituality is still important to me. So I've struggled to sort of impart that to him. So what he sees me doing is meditating, and he sees that I have a Buddha statue in my room, but I haven't fixed that piece about community yet.
Yeah,
you know?
That's a really important part of religion, right?
Yeah.
To have that community, to have somewhere.
community.
And you know, I'm just thinking as we're talking. So like we're talking about cynicism, but maybe Gen Z is cynical about the right things. And because I was very self-involved in my 20s. I don't know about you guys. Like I thought I knew everything.
I named someone who wasn't.
Yeah.
Right? So this is a generation now that's like saying, I don't know. Like the world is so crazy.
It's so uncertain.
I need help. Maybe that's the most courage of all,
I actually find
right?
it
The
a
most courageous
comfort
thing.
that they are seeking out comfort and community in the church. But there's a tiny little part of me that is a little bit concerned because it feels like history goes in cycles a bit. And we've had these moments in history, these great leaps when it comes to science and reason. And more often than not, they're generally followed by a period where we step back almost to superstition and to dogma. So that's sort of the line I'm towing, like keep going for the community. Just don't go and become a cult. Do you know what I mean? It's like that fine line, that balance.
I agree.
Yeah. So I was raised Catholic, and I don't go to church. I mean, I want to just tell them where to go a lot of times, right? And I feel guilty I don't go to church all the time, but my parents have both passed in the last 2 years, and my 15-year-old twins are now saying to me, Mom, can I go to church?
Wow. Oh, wow.
And I think it's because they're searching for answers, for connection, and they watch all these scary movies and all these other things, and they're looking for what's real, where's a connection, can I find something out there? Because they're realizing we're not all gonna stay here. Where do we go?
Interesting. Food for thought. We are gonna move on to this because a man wrote to Dear Prudence with an interesting problem. He says his girlfriend has what he describes as a nasty habit of kissing their cat on the nose while saying, nom nom. And he can't decide, this is a big deal to him, and he can't decide if this is a deal breaker or not. So what are your thoughts on this, Farah?
Is gross. I'm sorry.
Gross.
I don't have pets, so maybe I'm not, but like, I draw the line and I totally get affection. I have a dog nephew, but here's the thing.
I've never heard that. A dog nephew, oh my God.
Yeah, I have a dog nephew who I love very much. But I draw the line at this one word, moisture. Okay? When things are wet, like tongues and noses, that is, no, sorry, I cannot. That is a petri dish for germs.
No.
They lick everywhere, everything.
Cats groom themselves 50 times a day. Do you? And
no.
And so it's a kiss on the nose. It's not a kiss on the mouth. And cats are so affectionate. I think the boyfriend needs to go.
Interesting.
Well, don't they lick their private parts and stuff too?
50 times. They're clean.
Farah, a year ago, I totally would have agreed with you, but I adopted a cat a year ago. And this morning, I kid you not, I accidentally took a Tupperware container and put my breakfast in it, and then realized after I made the breakfast that his can of cat food had previously been in it. And I didn't care.
No.
I didn't care.
Really?
Yeah.
This story actually made me think of more disgusting things that I could think of to do with animal orders.
Just the can, not the actual food.
Okay, but you were...
Do you know what I mean? Like if it was, like it's, yeah.
Well, I don't know what people think about...
the nose. Going back to what Rosemarie said, it's just the nose.
No,
it's not the butt.
I agree.
It's wet, though.
I'm not grossed out by this, but there are other disgusting things. I was once, you guys can tell me what you think of this. I was once at someone's house. We just had a dinner party. We were cleaning up, and they had a dog. And so they had, like, taken off the excess food, whatever, and then they let the dog lick the plates before they put it in the dishwasher. And see, there are people who say this is okay. I was horrified
but
by
it's going through that. I think I would have been a year ago as well. But now that you think about it, it's going through the dishwasher. Like it's getting clean.
I think that people become pet blind at a certain point. And so while I don't think that the nose kiss is a problem, I do think pet owners need to check themselves every once in a while with a friend who loves them and can tell them when they're being disgusting.
And wait till this guy's worried about cats. Wait till he has kids.
Yeah, it's true. That's true.
Yeah,
that is germs everywhere.
Hey, guess what? It's time for another break. And then Rosemarie talked to us about her new book and why trusting your instinct is so critical. You don't want to miss it.
Welcome back. We are continuing our conversation with Rosemarie Aquilina, who is not only a highly respected judge and motivational speaker, but also an author. Rosemarie, your latest book is called Speak Up, and Speak Up, Trusting
lessons in trusting your instincts, and it's all about something that you've relied on from a young age. How did your childhood shape your ability to trust your instincts and your voice?
So the very short version is my dad studied medical school in Germany. I lived with my grandparents in Detroit, and I thought, because I lived with them since I was about a year until I was about 5 years old, that my grandparents were my parents. Oh. So when my dad comes and removes my mother, brother, and I'm thinking I'm kidnapped.
Wow.
And so since that young age, I have felt kidnapped and have been a rebel, you know, a troublemaker. And so when someone said yes, I said no. When someone said no, I said, I'll show you. And you know, it really shaped my world. So I learned ultimately that I have two sets of parents, my grandparents and my parents. So I flipped the script into something positive, but that feeling of being kidnapped never left me. And I had to really learn to rely on myself, my gut, my intuition.
Wow.
Well, you served 20 years in the military as a JAG officer. What's the most valuable lesson you did learn about knowing when to trust your gut?
Listening.
Yeah.
And sometimes breaking protocol. You're supposed to follow command, and I had a whole lot of situations with people who went AWOL for good reason, and I bypassed what we're supposed to do, and I went right to the general. Here's the problem. Here's what I need to do. It can't wait, sir. And they learned to trust me and said, do what you need to do, Aquilina. And that was pretty amazing. I got into the military they didn't want this woman. I became the first female JAG in the history of the Michigan Army National Guard. Wow. They didn't want me. My application sat there, and I thought, well, you can fight the military or you can do something creative. So I volunteered, put my tightest jeans on, showed up. I was a lot younger and prettier then, showed up, volunteered, and I made sure that I had coffee where the general did. And when he saw me and I introduced myself, by the time I got up to the JAG office, he was yelling at the colonel who's pointing to the phone going, you know, this is about you. And the general screaming, who is that woman in these jeans? And he said, the next JAG, I hope. And the application's sitting next to your office, and the general said, get that woman in a uniform. I was sworn in the next weekend. Wow. Yep. And when he swore me in, he crossed out 6 years, put 8, and I said, sir, please put 20. And then he swore me in, and he said, the only thing that could have been better is if you were black, because we never, I was the first female, I was the first minority. Okay, and I served 20 honorably and became the most requested JAG by trusting my gut and sometimes going against protocol for the good of morale and humanity.
Wow. Wow.
And finding out how good you look in jeans.
Well, thank you.
That's the other part of it. Okay, you know how I know your name? You were thrust in the spotlight during the sentencing of American gymnastics coach Farah Nasser in 2018, and you gave more than 150 survivors of sexual abuse space to speak up, to share their truth, which was so important. It really gripped the nation. Did you realize at the time the kind of cultural impact you were making?
No, I have always let people speak. If crime touches you, you get to speak in my courtroom. Crime doesn't have a border, so why does the courtroom? I don't own the courtroom, you do. You have a right to speak. And so I let everybody speak. And I got a lot of flack for it, but ultimately I didn't do the heavy lifting. Each one of those gymnasts did. Mm-hmm. When they spoke, they inspired the next person and the next person. And at the end, I felt like I had 156 babies handed to me because I literally watched them grow and I felt like they were reborn. And it was a gift to me.
Wow. Incredible. You mentioned some criticism that you've received, and at that time I found this interesting to find out that some critics were saying that your victim-focused approach risks turning to the courtroom into a therapy chamber, and others felt that you were using such strong language at a sentencing, that you went too far. So all those criticisms lobbed at you. How do you handle that?
Well, they can get me off the bench. I'll go to the legislature and fight for the right to do what I've done. The strong language was because his behavior was absolutely horrible. Hell has no fury like a woman scorned. He didn't understand what he did. And those people who criticized me, there were judges who said, you don't deserve to be on the bench. Oh, we can't do less than you. I said, retire and pour my coffee. You know. I do not sit above the people. I sit with the people, and I'm supposed to be your voice, and I will not sit above you, and nor will I degrade you by limiting your voice.
Wow. Rosemarie. Okay, you recently called for an independent inquiry into sport in Canada amid widespread allegations of abuse across athletics. So what drives you to move beyond the courtroom and into reforming sports culture?
Because we need to make sure, the Olympics, it's not just the Olympics. We all start out as possibilities to be in the Olympics, children. And when you value money and medals over the safety of children, then you are a persecutor of children. And children have a right to be safe. It is a human right. And I think Canada, with an independent inquiry and changing some laws, could be a leader in the world. And that's what I'm asking for. We haven't been able to do it in America. Canada, let's do it.
Wow. Wow. You are a remarkable woman. I understand when you're not in the courtroom, when you're not writing books, when you're not being a motivational speaker, you're in the kitchen because you love to cook.
Wow. I do.
You love to go all out for the holidays. Is themed entertaining sort of your signature?
Yes, I like to make spooky food and colored food. I colorize it. There's my my
What's
turkey.
the nose? What's the beef?
Oh, I love it. Red pepper.
Oh, I love
and
it.
my kids and grandkids named it, and then they wouldn't eat it, and I had to cut into it. That's,
Oh my God, that's awesome.
Rice Krispie turkey for Thanksgiving, and my cheese ball snowman.
Oh
and,
my gosh.
You know, having a 3D colorful meal makes it fun.
Well, you have
kids
been
must
so
love
much
it.
fun and enlightening. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Hey, Speak Up Lessons in Trusting Your Instincts is on shelves now, and studio audience, guess what? You're going home with your very own copy. Thank you. Thank you for being with us.
If you love it, please write me a review. It really helps. Thank you so much.
Let's do that, huh?
It's a great book, yeah.
Up next, budget-friendly recipes to keep our grocery bills lean. Stay with us. Welcome back, everyone. We're all feeling the pinch at the grocery store, and lately, struggle meals have been trending online as people turn to TikTok to find creative, budget-friendly dishes made with super simple ingredients.
Our next guest knows all about making delicious food without the high cost, so please welcome back to the show, Zero Waste Chef, Christine Tizard.
Yay! We love having you here.
Christine, what are some examples of struggle meals that you're seeing?
Oh, so yes, like scrolling through TikTok and on social media, like I've seen everything from like creative ways to use cheap protein and like box of mac and cheese and all the things that you can add to ramen noodles. I've even seen like butter on crackers, which I mean, I love butter on crackers, but you can only have so much.
Yes,
If that's gonna fuel you.
But I mean, when I'm shopping on a lean budget, there's specific questions I have to ask myself when I go to the grocery store, you know?
Okay. And the first question you ask is, what's cheap right now?
What's cheap
So what's
right
the
now?
answer that you came up with?
What's on sale?
Yeah.
And what's seasonal? So, you know, everything that's in season will always be cheaper. So, for instance, when I was at the grocery store the other day, cauliflower was super cheap. But also, when I go to the grocery store, the first thing I hit is that reduced price produce aisle.
Okay.
And then I'll like stock up on the things I need and just make sure I use them first. You'll always find a head of cauliflower there, I can guarantee you, and tomatoes.
Always
for
tomatoes.
sauce.
Always tomatoes.
Yes.
And so, so that's it doesn't have to be perfect to be able to be edible and make it into a meal. Okay.
Exactly.
So you made cauliflower soup from the cauliflower.
Yes, so
Walk us through
I
it.
bought the cauliflower. I had a butternut squash in the fridge, and of course I have frozen broth all the time. So what I did was I took the butternut squash, I cooked it in the broth until it was nice and tender, and I took my whole cauliflower and roasted it in the oven till you get some of that nice char.
Oh, it's got a bit of kick.
Yeah,
Nice.
this is
Really
good.
nice.
Curry powder, I always have as well. A couple tablespoons of curry powder, super simple. You get that bit of a kick, you get the roasted cauliflower, and I think we ate this for 3 days straight. I swear it was so good.
Really? It's
so
delicious.
great. Yeah, it was
And
good.
warming and cozy for
Yes.
this time of year.
Yes.
So, okay, so what's an always inexpensive, shelf-stable, and good to keep stocked in our pantry?
Rice and beans.
Yes, always.
It may sound like boring. but
Canned
I
or
mean,
dried, or are you kind of either?
Either or, you will always save money buying dried. It's
Yeah.
a little bit more work, but it'll also last longer as
so
well. And then the other thing that like my go-to is I always have a couple cans of mackerel.
Oh, wow.
Hey.
Like the canned
I
mackerel.
love
what
the
are you doing?
canned
Are you
smoked
eating those on
mackerel.
crackers?
I'll eat those
Right
on
out of-
crackers, but I'll also eat it out of the can.
Yeah.
Wow.
But I mean, I'm a newfie, so maybe it's just like born in me. But like canned fish, canned salmon.
Yeah.
So what I brought for you today is a canned salmon fish cake. So instead of using like fresh fish, you're gonna use the canned salmon. You could bulk it out with like potatoes. I use breadcrumbs here because shelf stable, and you know, nice herbs,
Going
stuff
in.
like that. And there you have it. It's cheap. It's
That's
inexpensive.
really good. Sorry.
From canned salmon?
It's from
That's
canned
from
salmon.
canned salmon.
Yeah.
And hot. I'm sure you do this too. When it goes on sale,
Yeah,
you
you pick
maybe
up
get
a
like
few.
4 cans of them, put that
Exactly.
in the pantry.
Really
you know what I
good.
mean? Okay, so now let's cover what we can buy that's the most nutritionally dense for the least amount of money.
Yeah, so I had to do a bit of digging here and do a little bit of research. So, I mean, you know, things like oats, things like brown rice, your lentils, of course, but nutritionally dense, I kind of had to like say, what is the most nutritionally dense? And what came up was edamame.
Okay.
So 1 cup of edamame, you'll get 13 grams of protein. And you buy it frozen. You could typically buy a bag for, you know, a couple bucks. And then I'm like, well, what can I throw edamame on that's also gonna like give me most bang for my buck?
Yeah.
And I love a Niçoise. I know I've heard
love a
stories
Niçoise.
about you taking a to work all the time. But I mean, a Niçoise, you have your canned fish, so you have your canned tuna, you have your eggs, which is also super nutritionally dense, low cost for what it is, right?
Yep.
You have your nice dark leafy greens, and you have your edamame on
It's
top
really
of it.
good.
It's classic.
So
Classic.
There's so many variations on a Niçoise. It sounds like fancy, but it's really just a salad with some protein on
Yes.
it.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
You also recommend, and it's something I always do purely out of laziness, but to make our own salad dressing as a way to save money.
It's
Yeah.
a way to save money. It's also a way to like not eat things that you don't really necessarily need. Like sugar in a salad dressing is not something that you need.
Yeah.
So if you have olive oil, if you have apple cider vinegar, a little bit of mustard and some herbs, salt and pepper.
Done.
Mason
So
jar,
easy.
it'll last for a week.
Yeah.
And it's simple. You can put it on any type of salad.
Yep.
It's delicious. Hey, another question to consider is what's the cheapest veggie to buy that will last the longest? So we're talking
Yes.
about the unsung heroes.
So cabbage.
Yeah.
It's also huge, right? Carrots. You have like your good old like potatoes, root vegetables and stuff like that. But I mean, I think onions are like, they're always like a throwaway. We don't ever really think about all the things that we could do with onions. But if you really like saute onions down, you know, we all know about a French onion soup,
Yeah.
but there's no reason why we can't do like a French onion fried rice or like saute lots of onions and put it in like when you put chicken in.
Make it the
and-
Star.
Like a 1-pot meal,
Yeah.
right?
You made it the Star here.
Here I made it the Star because you have that like famous recipe for the blooming onion, which is actually really easy to make. And I did a bit of an air fryer hack on this and threw it in the air fryer because I don't like deep frying in the house. My whole house would smell like onions. If I had it. Anyway, but yeah, like a dipping sauce, a bloomed onion, and I'm gonna show you.
Yeah, please do.
We
how to
don't have a
make
lot of
this.
time left, but
Oh,
let's go
okay,
for it. Yeah.
So
Be
very
careful.
easy. Oh my God. So
Please
you're
be
gonna
careful.
cut
Yeah,
the top
yeah.
off
Up the
so you
top.
have a flat end.
Okay.
Flat end,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
And then basically you're making 16 slits.
Okay.
So you're gonna do 4, but 1 on each side, right? You
Okay,
do
I get
4,
that, I get
you do
that.
4.
Okay.
And then you're
4.
gonna keep on going around splitting that. You're gonna
Okay.
split that.
Okay.
Gonna split
And then you're gonna
that.
go around and round until you have 16 slices.
Got it.
And then it opens
And
up.
then it opens up, so you have this beautiful little bloom. And you're gonna dredge it. egg wash, breadcrumbs, panko, flour, seasoned flour, whatever you want. Pop it in the air fryer. 20, 25 minutes.
Oh,
Amazing.
what a great idea.
We have about 30 seconds
Okay.
left, but
Yeah.
we're gonna get to this amazing. This is protein heavy. We always talk about protein, so talk about
Yeah.
this lentil meatloaf?
Yes,
I mean, not-
protein.
what?
Protein,
Lentil.
very controversial. We're not getting enough protein, supposedly. So ground meat, cheap protein. However, I'm like, can we go even cheaper? And can we make a meatloaf out of just lentils?
And you did.
And I
It's
did.
so good, Christine.
And I did, yeah.
This is mind-blowing.
This is incredible.
So it's all lentils with a lot of like aromatic veggies, mushrooms. You puree it in a food processor, then you add more lentils and some tomato paste and some like seasonings, and you pack it in a
So good.
in
The
a
best
tray
thing
and you
about
cook it.
meatloaf is the next day you get a meatloaf sandwich. And that would be
Yes.
delicious on a sandwich.
Yes, it would be.
With the bloomin' onion, guys. Add the bloomin' onion. Next level. Guys.
Christine, thank you so much. You're always such a
Thank you.
delight. You bring
Thank you
such
very
great
much.
ideas
Thank
to
you
us.
very much.
Hey, after the break, Arlene Dickinson tells us
Ooh.
what's it like to be in the hot seat across from Jenny Story and the cast of The Assembly. Don't miss it. Welcome back, everyone. CBC's The Assembly is a celebrity interview show like no other, with a cast of autistic and neurodivergent adults interviewing some of Canada's top celebrities. Take a look.
What is the darkest thought you've ever had?
Guys have such great questions.
I heard you shave your head. Is there anyone else you shave?
Have you ever kissed a boy?
I did not see that coming.
What's it like being alone at your age? Wow.
How do you feel about your older brother being incarcerated for murder?
Wow. Wow. Okay. We have two incredible women from the show today. Joining us is interviewer Jenny Story and interviewee and Canadian celebrity Arlene Dickinson. Welcome to you both.
Congratulations on the show. And I just learned it's an adaptation of a French series that has versions in England, Australia, Denmark, Poland, Spain, and now Canada. And the tagline is, "No question is off the table." So Arlene, why the heck did you sign up for this?
I mean, you know that I have there's no kind of boundaries in my life. I go, I'll say anything to anybody. But I thought it was just such a great opportunity to speak to Canadians and not have any agenda in the questions other than what they really wanted to ask. And this group was just fantastic. The questions they asked blew me away.
Whoa.
I just love it. Now, Jenny, turning to you now, you're one of the interviewers here on The Assembly. Despite being diagnosed with autism, you're an author?
Yes.
You're an award-winning author, best-selling author, I should say, and you're really you want to help others pursue their dreams, right? So tell me about this. Is that what motivated you to join this show?
Oh yes, 100%, because this was a show about showing positivity around autism and showing that, hey, we're capable human beings just like anybody else. And what better way to show it than on this show and be a good representative that way.
Yeah, job well done.
Thank you.
Now it features, Arlene's on the show, so is Howie Mandel, Jan Arden, Russell Peters. What was it like? So I'm an interviewer. I was a journalist for 25 years. And, sometimes you get intimidating when you're doing an interview. What was that like for you?
Oh yeah, super nerve-wracking. I never thought I'd be in this kind of position to do things like that. Like, I think I said on the Howie show, is this real life? Am I dreaming? Am I actually standing in front of you? But yeah, it's just so cool. And like the thing, any questions, none off the table. So yeah, it was fun to ask them any questions we wanted. And they were just all so nice and lovely and kind.
That's nice to hear.
Yeah.
Because Arlene can be.
I know, I can be tough, right?
No, you were super.
I was the nicest, wasn't I?
Arlene, your episode doesn't air until November 20th, but we have a clip, so let's take a look.
Okay.
Since nothing is off the table, what led you to have an affair?
Oh.
Oh, honestly, pretty fun.
Wow.
Oh.
Okay.
Wow. So, did they ask you any questions that in the back of your mind you're like, oh God, please don't ask that?
Well, they asked me about my affair. They asked me about getting kicked out of my church. They asked me, like, pretty much everything was anything, what it was like to be alone at my age.
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
And you welcomed them all? You didn't sort of get a little cagey or like, "Ay."
No, I mean, again, you know what I found? Like, when you're interviewed, sometimes you feel like you have to make sure your messaging's on point. In this case, it was really just about, peeling back the banana, right? And getting to inside of people's hearts. And the interviewers were, honestly, I cannot say enough. They had done their homework. They knew who we all were. They asked really relevant questions. They were kind. They were generous with themselves and their souls. You all were so lovely to work with. Honestly, I cannot say enough. You taught me so much. I think I got so much more from you than I gave to you. So I really appreciate it.
Oh,
it's beautiful.
Arlene, it's so nice to meet you.
And there were such authentic questions. Like, I wouldn't have the guts to ask those kind of questions, right?
That's why they got us.
Right. So Arlene, Howie Mandel said, and I'm going to quote him, the most beautiful, authentic, on-camera conversation I've ever had in my career. Did you feel that way?
Yeah, 100%. It was. You just knew that these questions came from a genuine curiosity and a desire to learn more about the people behind the screen or the celebrity, and it just made me understand that acceptance is all about treating people for who they are, meeting them where they are, instead of expecting things from them that they, are doing differently than we might do or I might do. Doesn't mean that they're wrong and I'm right. It means that we're all just very unique. And I loved learning that. I mean, honestly, I loved it.
Jenny, I have to ask you a sticky question because all of the interviewers are autistic, and artistic probably. But were you ever concerned about the possibility that the show might accidentally perpetuate stereotypes?
I mean, yeah, I'll be honest. It did cross my mind once or twice. So I made sure to ask them questions because before we signed contracts and everything, we had a one-on-one conversation with the crew and just let me know what their show was about and what they wanted to do. I mean, if I did feel uncomfortable, didn't like where it was going, I could always just leave myself. But I answered my questions. I felt comfortable, and I feel like it's been doing a great representation for autism. And yeah, I thought it was good.
That's incredible. A great experience all around. Like hearing that.
There's so much buzz about this show, right? And do you I'm just curious, Jenny, do you think it's because we're in this AI era where everything's fake and performative? Why do you think people are just so drawn to it?
I do think it's because it's the authenticity. I know with myself, I was definitely just being 100% myself and authentic, asking these questions. Yeah, it's just real human beings who are on the spectrum just asking their personal questions to, as Arlene said, get to know our celebrities in that and just, have real conversations in that and have fun with the show and just, have fun.
And pull back the curtain, way back, right?
Yeah. Well, thank you for having fun with this conversation with us here today, Arlene and Jenny. It's been a delight. Thank you.
For having us.
You can catch the assembly on CBC and CBC Gem. And in the meantime, we're going to be right back. Welcome back, everyone. Tomorrow on the show, we have comedian Colin Mockery joining the panel. That's going to be great. We also get a lesson in networking from a career coach. Going to be paying attention to that one. And we find out more about the hub and spoke travel trend.
What is that?
I don't know. Do you
Hub and spoke?
I mean, that's why I'm going to be watching and being on the show tomorrow.
Bike and driving.
Bike?
Bike and driving? Do we think? Or is it bike?
Hub?
Spoke? Yeah, bike.
I don't know.
It's bike and driving.
Yeah, maybe.
Hey, sorry, the producer's talking to me right now. Hub City.
It's not.
With a hot distant. I can't hear because I'm
I know
talking
what
at
it
the
is.
same time.
I know what it is. There's a hub city to visit, and it's all of the surrounding areas that you can go to nearby that have amazing things. There we go. That's what we got.
Said. So guess what? We're all going to be watching tomorrow to learn about that, and we're going to thank Farah right now. Farah, for joining us. Thank you. That was so much fun. Bye.